Female scientists you should know about. Episode 2, Katherine Johnson. You may have heard her name in 2016, when her story was told in the hit movie Hidden Figures, about the contributions of African-American women at NASA in the 50s. Johnson was born in 1918 into a modest family and in a town that did not offer public high school for African Americans. Recognizing her outstanding intelligence, her family moved so she could continue her education. Johnson graduated from high school at just 14 years old and then got a degree in mathematics at 18, before being invited to be one of the first African Americans to study a PhD. Following an all-too-familiar story for women of her time, she dropped out of grad school to stay home and raise her children. But luckily, her story would not end there. In 1952, the NACA agency, before it was called NASA, was hiring women, and more than that, African American women. Basically, they needed lots of people to act as human computers. So Johnson got a job. Even though her new workplace was racially segregated, Johnson talks about how she just got on with her work. She had a mission to fulfill, and she was not going to let discrimination affect her work. So what was this work exactly, the human computer? Johnson had to analyze data collected from flight tests and calculate spacecraft trajectories, all by hand because there were no digital tools that could handle such complex equations. The human computers were predominantly female because they were much cheaper labor than men, and the computer job was actually seen as menial, tedious work, unfit for the great minds of the men at NASA. The fact that you actually needed really strong mathematical skills and high mental resilience was often overlooked, of course. Johnson continued to progress in her job, and she was the one who calculated the flight path of the first ever American in space, Alan Shepard. Her contribution was so significant that when NASA later introduced electronic computers, astronaut John Glenn specifically requested that she double-check the calculations by hand because he trusted her more than the new technology. Beyond her extraordinary computing abilities, Johnson also brought a fresh perspective, centered on the people inside the spacecraft. She thought they should focus more on the return from space back to Earth, which led to the safe landing of countless astronauts back home. Katherine Johnson died in February 2020 at the age of 101, leaving behind essential contributions for human spaceflight. She remains proof of the fact that science and technology will always benefit from breaking down social barriers and offering opportunities to anybody to apply their skills in the name of human progress.